Hi, Peter. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, my pleasure, Steve. Good to see you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Not such a pleasure what's happening in self-storage right now, which is a story we're going to talk about briefly. It's on a wane after a big surge in business during the pandemic. We have a Wall Street Journal report here that some locations have lowered their rent price for new customers by as much as 28%, more than a quarter in the past year. Several are charging just $1 for the first month's rent. New leasing activity this summer, typically the peak in storage demand, has fallen to its lowest level in 3 years. The national occupancy for self storage is about 92%, and that's down from record occupancy of over 96%. Certainly not anything as bad as what we're seeing in San Francisco office, but not good numbers for self storage. What are your thoughts here?
Oh, they're not good numbers for self-storage. And I think that, I don't know, I know that Wall Street Journal article mentioned interest rates were a factor. I don't know how much interest rates are a factor, but clearly the fact that people aren't moving as much as they did before is a factor. And I think, and as people get older, they are storing less. They do manage to throw things out as they get older. And when we were younger, at least I was a collector, so yeah, the self-storage was good for me. But the other thing is it is regional. And I think the Wall Street Journal making a national comment about that, it would be far better if they broke it down because some regions are still pretty good for self-storage, but not many. Um, Here's one of the things that's going on in self-storage. The user today is primarily female, not male. And here's what the female is looking for: uh, air conditioning, lighting, security. Those are three very important things to today's renter of self-storage, who is primarily the female. And self-storage that doesn't supply those necessities is really going to be on the outside looking in. So that digs a little bit deeper than the Wall Street Journal article. And how do I know this? Well, I've gone to some council meetings where self-storage applications been going on here in Georgia, and uh, by golly, it's not the Taj Mahal, but you almost have to put in a gym and a place for the kiddies to play in the self-storage facility. So
Well, yeah.
you get my drift.
No, I think those are important points that there's differences type of classes, amenities, the type of facility, there's difference in regions. I think one thing also worth pointing out here that is going on is that we had a little bit of artificial demand during the pandemic, right? People were all of a sudden forced to work from their homes, which meant that they had to have a home office, even if they were going to go back to working later. They couldn't go to a gym if they wanted to create a home gym or something. All that created a need for storage that now some people are back in the office, some people are able to go back to a gym. They can clear some of that space out. So I think, we've got multiple trends going on here. But one is we're just going to get probably a pretty normal pullback, just because you had some artificial demand around the pandemic. And then, as you point out, there's going to be some facilities that are don't have those amenities that may be facing less demand, and then some regions that are going to be facing less demand. So just a more complicated picture than sometimes the media would point.
Yeah. And, based on what the Wall Street Journal article is saying, as well as the factors that you and I are talking about, we are liable to see more self-storage properties on the market and available, which says to me, watch out. Uh, Look at who the owners are and why are the owners selling at this point? If self-storage is such a good investment vehicle, why are owners getting out, and it has to be because they see what's coming.
Yeah, I think that's some good advice. If you want to be careful about investing at a top, I think we've both seen some self-storage presentations that point to the past few years, which especially helped by the pandemic, have been terrific, and then just draw a linear projection of things are just going to keep going up in a way that they're right now not. So, caveat emptor, buyer beware. It doesn't mean you
Yeah.
can't find good self-storage investments, but there's some bad ones out there. There's definitely some providers that are maybe not, being as forthright as they could about, what the numbers look like by just kind of painting a very rosy picture based on the past few years that were a little artificially high. Certainly some good opportunities there, but as you're mentioning, also some regions and some types of properties that might not be too much in demand going forward.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, appreciate the insights, Peter. Thanks.
Okay, Steve. Good to see you.